Okay, so I'm on the concrete right outside the warehouse here, and I have two legit iron nickel meteorites. Apparently they're Campo-Dacidio meteorites. Now, the problem with astronomy these days is they think that these types of objects clump together in the vacuum of outer space to make something the size of a planet. Now, I don't know if you guys have played billiards, pool, or whatever, but the idea that these objects this small clump together to make something the size of the Earth, what we'll see here is that it's demonstrably false. Check this out. Well, the hypothesis is, according to the astronomers first, is the iron nickel meteorites, they clump together for any real reason. I mean, all you really need to do is get them together. That's basically it. And they should come together here. Check this out. All right. Can't let the astronomers down, because we know that these are supposed to clump together. Let's just do this enough. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe they'll eventually fuse. Okay. And maybe I need to drop it from a little bit higher height. Hang on. And the iron will fuse together. Oh, okay. Let me try that again. No, I missed it. There. Oh, that was a good one. Okay. Let's try it again. I'm gonna fuse this iron together. Nope. Shit. Okay, one more time. Alright, hopefully you guys get the point here. This is called an elastic collision. Okay? It's where the material, when it hits, it's elastic, so it hits and it comes back out again. It keeps its momentum, but it goes off in a different vector. As well as the larger object that moves a little bit more. Hang on, maybe if I hit it with the larger object, it'll make it fuse together. Hang on. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Oh, did it fuse? Oh no, didn't fuse together. Okay, let's try it again. Nope. One more time. Nope. Okay, the point is this is clearly a ridiculous demonstration. It's clearly ridiculous. These two objects, this iron nickel, is never going to clump together, fuse together in outer space just because of it's hitting each other. Now, the velocities that these objects travel in is supposedly much faster. And what do you think an object like this traveling at around 50,000 miles an hour is going to do if it hits something like this? Okay, what do you think it's going to do? I think it's going to obliterate it. I think the two would just completely annihilate each other. But let's just be clear here. The way astronomers form planets, it's never going to happen like this. You're never going to have iron, nickel meteorites, or rocks, or anything clumping together with itself at this size. Now let me remind my audience that it's the entire Earth that's giving these rocks a pre-direction. The Earth is already aligning which direction this object should fall in. Okay? Now imagine you're in outer space and these things are floating along. What are the odds that these objects even will hit each other to begin with, being that outer space is so vast? Not only that, but there's no gravitation between these two. There's nothing to accelerate them together. But not only that, there's no gravitation, there's nothing to accelerate it. It's an elastic collision. There's nothing to heat these objects up. And you say, Jeff, you should melt them down. They're supposed to be a liquid. Okay, so in outer space, what's melting this down? So when it hits another object, it clumps together. That being said, even if this was a liquid, you know what would happen? If it were to hit that, it would splatter. It would splatter into even more pieces without even having to need to have a high collision velocity. So the idea that astronomers build planets like this is clearly ridiculous. It doesn't work. It's something that they just gloss over. Now, the only way to build a planet is to allow these objects to have an area where they all collect together. And that is inside of a star itself. That's where these objects can clump together, and the star recycles it and builds a core out of all these little itty bitty bits and pieces that are floating around outer space. They enter into a star and they move together towards the center of the star, and it heated and melted and ionized and, you know, vaporized and all that good stuff, and they clump together in the center. That's why the Earth has an iron core. But the idea that these things just clump together in outer space via the core accretion model or gravitational instability model or whatever model the astronomers are thinking up next is clearly ridiculous. You need an extremely massive, extremely huge object to take a whole shitload of these things and put them all together and to make them into one giant coherent core. And that's what a star does as it evolves. And this is the whole point. Accretion without another body causing the accretion doesn't happen. Rocks don't self-accrete in outer space, as you can see here. Hopefully I made this demonstration done enough of these for you guys to get the point. Astronomers, they want you to believe that this happens by the trillions. All these objects are supposed to just clump together, but I can't even get these two little meteorites to do anything. They just keep on bouncing off of each other. How are you supposed to build a planet like that? All right, guys, later.